Hello, my minimum wage folks. Since I know many of you like to flaunt those premium phones, let me introduce you to a high-end gem that's quite affordable. And well, I'm aware of the lack of cash these days, but we need a high-quality phone at a budget-friendly price. Let me present to you this Samsung gem that looks very elegant for the occasion, as it's a really interesting phone. The design of the S20 Plus has some important points. For instance, it's not like those phones that think they're a big deal. It's rather minimalist and doesn't complicate its design. But honestly, for an average person, it's somewhat difficult to distinguish this model from an ordinary A-series phone, as this phone doesn't have a very extravagant design like its bigger sibling, the S24 Ultra. And I mention this because many of you like to flaunt those premium designs. But unfortunately, the S20 looks like an ordinary phone, and that might not sit well with you. But still, people who know about smartphones appreciate these little details. And in the end, it all makes sense, as the materials are high quality, and when you touch it, you feel it's worth every penny. As expected, the edge frame is made of polished aluminum, with varying thicknesses in different parts, and it's those little details that no one notices. But I love seeing each tiny detail. Plus, it's covered by Gorilla Glass 6, both front and back, to withstand all sorts of bumps. And yes, it's water and dust resistant, as it should be in a premium model. My favorite version is the Cosmic Gray, no gradients or gimmicks. But there are other colors like Cosmic Black, White, Blue, and Red, depending on the country you're in. In summary, this Galaxy S20 Plus has a great style without being arrogant, and honestly, I love that. If you look at it from the front, you'll find the front camera, a very slim slot with a speaker, and some sensors that are well hidden. But the curious thing is that there's no sign of an LED for notifications. On the right side, you'll find the power button and a volume key. And on the left, there's nothing important. But at least they got rid of the button that summons the virtual assistant, a change that surely made those who always activated it by mistake very happy. At the top, there's an extra microphone and a slot for 2 nano SIMs, but you can swap it with a micro SD. And at the bottom, there's the main microphone and a USB Type-C. On the back, there's a block with 4 cameras, sensors, flash, and another microphone. But at the bottom, there's only the Samsung logo and some service labels. Basically, it's a phone with its bits well placed, though some people will miss the Bixby button, that is, the virtual assistant. This phone has a 6.7-inch screen, which might be a bit uncomfortable to handle, since the dimensions are quite large. But this is only for people with hands like a T-Rex. But the good news is that it doesn't weigh much, just 186 grams, which is more than comfortable for your pockets. At first glance, the ergonomics are quite stable, and it's pleasant to hold. But be careful, as I found it a bit slippery. But maybe that's just because I'm a bit clumsy. But I'd still recommend getting a nice case for it. The screen has a resolution of 3200 by 1444 pixels, and of course, it supports HDR10+. And of course, this marvel moves with a refresh rate of 120 Hz. Believe me when I say that the screen is very complete, and its maximum brightness reaches 1200 nits. The intensity is impressive, and the viewing angles are quite wide, which is great for enjoying your favorite content in high quality. The color reproduction is quite varied and vibrant, and if you want, you can set it to natural or more saturated colors, you decide. The image quality is almost flawless, though there's a slight distortion at the curved edges. But who notices that? Now let's talk a bit more about the refresh rate, because honestly, I think 120 Hz is double the standard and makes 60 Hz look like turtles. But don't worry, thanks to your daddy Samsung, there's a little trick, and that's you can only get those 120 Hz if you lower the resolution to full HD. And according to the creators, it's a battery-saving improvement. But in previous videos, we saw that other models let you have high resolution and 120 Hz at the same time, obviously at a higher price. But well, in the end, you control the wallet, so you choose. Now, the always-on display is still here, customizable as always, and you decide how and when to activate it. And of course, Samsung continues the tradition of releasing powerful phones with different processors, but all depending on the market where they launch them. For example, the version with Exynos 990 has an 8-core processor with solid performance. The RAM varies, and the version without 5G has 8 GB, while the version with 5G comes with 12 GB. However, it's strange that the version without 5G only offers 128 GB of storage, something that doesn't seem right in a high-end phone. Regarding general performance, the S20 Plus measures up, especially for normal tasks. This device has 108 gigabytes of available space and supports micro SD cards of up to 1 terabyte, and the storage capacity is ample, though using it would mean giving up a second physical SIM card. When it comes to demanding games, the S20 Plus handles heavy games with high settings without any issues. But I must admit that long-term performance is affected by the heating of the casing. Compared to the version with Snapdragon 865, the Exynos heats up a little more. But obviously, this smartphone runs any game you throw at it. But if you're a demanding gamer, you might prefer the version with the Snapdragon 865. The cameras on this Samsung are a set of 4 lenses on the back. The main one is 12 megapixels, ultra-wide also 12, a supposed 64-megapixel telephoto, and a TOF sensor. However, the telephoto is a bit disappointing, as I expected a higher optical zoom capacity. At least, the 12-megapixel main camera provides high-quality images with a wide dynamic range, although the night mode needs some improvements. Another gray area is that the ultra-wide lens lacks autofocus, and, while it works well during the day, its performance at night is somewhat limited. The front camera is 10 megapixels, with an aperture of 2.2, and the sensor size is stable. Samsung put a lot of effort into the triple hybrid zoom, but its performance depends on the available light, like any good premium phone. The video recording is 8K, and the 10-megapixel front camera stands out with autofocus and 4K recording. The camera app offers options like manual mode, panoramas, night mode, and various video options, including slow motion and super slow motion. Although the S20 Plus cameras offer solid performance, the telephoto and night mode need improvements. Video recording is high quality, especially in 4K, but the 8K mode isn't a practical feature at present. Overall, the cameras perform well, but some areas may need some adjustments. This guy has a good 4,500 mAh battery, providing normal but slightly better battery life than the Ultra model. With active use and the screen at 120 Hz, it offers between 5 to 6 hours of battery life, but it can extend further by switching to 60 Hz. And fast charging allows you to fully charge the device in just over an hour. It also supports wireless charging up to 15 watts and reverse wireless charging up to 9 watts for external devices. As for audio, the speakerphone combines with the main speaker, providing loud and clear sound. And of course, the whole device runs on Android 10 with its One UI 2.1, and I've talked about this several times, but in summary, it's fast, simple, and quite easy to use. In some stores in my city, I've seen this phone for about $350, which seems like a pretty reasonable price for the features it offers. In short, this model is quite good. Its design is simple and built with quality materials. Its screen is beautiful, especially due to its high refresh rate. Also, the Exynos performance is sufficient for an average person. Obviously, if you're a gamer who enjoys the most modern and demanding games, I'd recommend going for the Snapdragon version. And other than that, the cameras are precise and detailed, though you might notice some flaws, but for the price, I find it quite reasonable. In the end, I'm just a little voice thousands of miles from your home, providing you with some information, but the final decision is always yours. We live in a highly competitive world, and unfortunately, I struggle to make a mark in this vast tech content platform. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, please. I wish you a lovely day, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.